Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the women's draft. Ooh, touchy subject, and quite popular subject at that. So without further ado, stay with me, and here we go.
I understand it all and it makes sense, but I do have a hard time with it because when I think about physically, I think if a woman chooses to go in combat roles, and I'm not talking about other roles, but specifically combat, if they choose to go, I can understand that. But for a woman that is weaker than a man,
If a woman chooses, here's the thing. In this day and age, everybody is on about choosing. Well, if a woman chooses to do this or chooses to do that, chooses to keep her baby, chooses to have an abortion, choose. Women are so used to the idea of being able to choose that they don't even know what a fucking draft is. I'm sorry, but a draft means you have no choice. No choice. Now, at the same time, in Vietnam, when there was a draft, a lot of people were turned away because they could not pass basic training due to size or strength, or maybe they couldn't run fast enough, or maybe they couldn't lift a certain amount of weights. But nevertheless, there are restrictions. If there's a draft and women have to go to war, then women have to go to war. It's that simple.
I mean, the Marine Corps did a 9-month study that had overwhelming results that all male troops did perform better than integrated ones.
Really?
But as far as a draft to force women to go into combat, I would have a hard time with it.
Really? You would have a hard time being forced into a draft because you're a woman? Because men don't have a hard time with it. No, it's nothing. Just send us into war. Half of us aren't coming back. Screw it. Whatever, right? We don't have a hard time with that or anything like that. We don't have a choice. We are men. If they say war, draft, we go. And if we don't go, we're imprisoned. Yeah. There is no choice available. So you can have a hard time all you want about it. You want to play with the big boys? Now you're going to play with the big boys. All right? There's no going back. You wanted equality? You have it. If there's a draft, you're going. I don't give a rat's ass if it's your time of the month. I don't give a rat's ass about if you're delicate or maybe you can't handle this or can't handle that. That shit does not matter. It is a draft. Guys don't want to go. All right? We have to, which means girls have to go because equality. You made your fucking bed, lie in it.
My other question is, what if a woman has children? Is there an exception? Who stays home and raises the kids?
So who stays home with the kids? Maybe all of the, stay-at-home dads that are around nowadays because people have been demasculating these guys to the point where they're practically women. And we're going to send these guys to war? Let's send a bunch of fluttery, happy people to war. Let's see what happens then. Because those happy, fluttery people are coming home men. And coming home fucked up men at that.
That exists now.
That's
right now.
Too.
There are a lot. Well, they don't do that. One person from the family, if you're a husband wife, but it's happened in Israel forever.
Oh, yeah.
Women have had to fight alongside men as equals to protect their country, and so if we are, we can't sort of say, well, we're the gentler sex, but
But the thing
sometimes you are.
The thing I like about that, though, is they go right out of college, or is it right before? There's a set time where they serve their 2 years.
They're 18.
Yeah, but the draft, the hard part is I kind of see what you're saying, and I know I should feel if you're fighting for equal rights, it should be across the board. You got to walk the walk. My first reaction was kind of like how crazy that you have this large window of time, because if you are trying to if you have chosen to have a family, or women have something else riding on their back, that at that moment, that window seems large.
Yeah, well, if the country, if you're talking about fighting for your country, then you have to make, those are the tough decisions. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you talk to, some of the Israeli soldiers and listen to what those women talk about.
They're whooping butt over
they don't play. This is like our country's. For Israel, the country's this big, so they need everybody they can get. We got a giant country.
That's true. And that was due to a draft because there wasn't enough men to guard Israel properly, so they would send women in their stead. This is a matter of not having enough people in your country, not enough men to defend your borders in the first place. Again, men don't want to go. Women don't want to go. Nobody wants to go to war. It's war.
So maybe we don't have to do it as hardcore as they do, but if we're saying that we want to be equal, it's like if you want to be a fireman or a fire person, you got to be able to carry all that stuff, or you can't do it.
Well,
That's absolutely right. If you're a fireman, you do have to be able to carry a certain amount of weight over your shoulder and up a ladder. I have yet to meet a woman that could possibly do that. And if she's out there, I'm sure she's a pretty big girl. But the average woman can't do that. The average man can't do that. It takes a strong person to be able to, lift a body. Or let us not forget the quotas. There are female firefighters out there, and they were able to become firefighters without being tested in the same way that a man has. So here's the big question. If your house is on fire, picture it for a second in your head. Your house is on fire, you're trapped, there's no way out. Someone knocks down the door, and it's a woman. Now she has to carry my 240 some pound ass out the door. She's not gonna be able to do it. Maybe drag me? Maybe. But if I'm unconscious, then what?
But they're registering people so that I just sneezed and you have the hiccup.
That was you?
But they register you so that in case of a draft, they know where you are. Exactly.
In case,
Exactly. A draft is something you can't really avoid. Once you're registered for the draft, that's it. Usually it's the taxpayers first. Anybody that's been through Vietnam really understands. And we are in a world right now where people don't really understand what the horrors of war really are, because it has been so long since we've been into a major war like Vietnam. Now we've had Afghanistan and whatnot, but that hasn't been on the same level as Vietnam, not even close. We lost so many more people during Vietnam and World War I and II. So the people nowadays, the average person, the average male, the average, capable woman that is drafted has no idea what to expect. They don't know the horror of war. They don't know what it's like to wake up with, with your best friend's face stuck to your hand. Okay, they don't know that shit. They don't know what it's like to lose your legs, come home without your private parts, unable to have kids. Years and years of psychotherapy trying to figure out what the hell happened over there.
Tell them! Cusack's, Carmelites, Walters! You tell them all what they did to me.
Honey, stop it!
What they did to this whole block, this whole country.
They're gonna call the police
We
this
went
time.
to Vietnam to stop communism. We shot women and children.
You didn't shoot women and children. What are you saying?
What said the war? Communism, the insidious evil. They told us to go.
Yes.
And on top of that, let us not forget what happens to women during war. Really think about it. What do you think happens to women during war? Rape happens. It's that simple. A shitload of rape. So you better be more than capable of defending yourself, because it might just be more than your life that you're putting on the line here. It's scary. It's a scary thought. That war is the last place that I would want my daughter to go to, all right, or my wife. I don't think so. I would volunteer to go to war if that means that my wife or my daughter stays home. But here's the thing. Does that make me a feminist or not? Does that mean I believe in equality or not? Because I like to believe that I do. But there's topics like this that really pull that into question. It really does for me. But anyway, moving forward.
And I'll tell you something, if there was ever a draft in this country, you would see a far different country.
But
those of you who are old enough to remember the Vietnam War, you saw a far different country. You want to see the fire under the behinds of young people?
I have a feeling that people wouldn't protest as much as you might think they would. This is not the 60s. Not anymore. This is not the early 70s. This is a different time. We have people protesting the dumbest things. The absolute dumbest things. Like, honestly. Like, people are protesting, like, transgender bathrooms and pronouns and all the other stuff. They don't know what a protest is for. They have no idea. This is what a protest is for. A draft. A draft is a good reason to fucking protest, all right? So when Lenin and all these people back in the 60s were protesting the Vietnam War, it was for a very good cause. Do you really think that people like that really give a rat's ass about transgender politics? They don't care. That's what made them the people of their time. And the people we should look to, for our time at least, as a role model, bare minimum. So, that being said, what can we take away from all this? Women want equality. I agree that they should have equality. But there are lines. Where are these lines? It's not people like me men like me, or even women like me, that are right-minded and do have some kind of common sense, that are fighting for this level of equality. But we have to be equal. That is the agenda, yes? Or can we just admit the fact that maybe men have it a little harder than women? Maybe. I don't know about you, but given the choice, yes, I would most definitely volunteer, to go to war if it stops my daughter or my wife from going to war. Sure. If I didn't love my wife, different story. If I married the wrong girl, then there's a good chance I would probably just say, you know what? I need to look after the kids. You should go to war. Yeah. Because equality. Yeah. That's a good way to avoid the draft. But again, fine lines, gray lines, back and forth everywhere you go. What do you do? How do you fix this? I want your opinion. If you have an opinion about this, I'd like to hear it. I really would, because I like hearing from you guys. I really do. All right. I respond to as many people as I can. I really like you guys. My subscribers are awesome. Like the best people you can find. Very, very intelligent people too. Very proud of that. But anyway, that being said, again, I have a book coming out. It's called The Book of Neophyte. You can find the website at thebookofneophyte.com. You can find that right there. And if you'd like a digital copy of that, a free digital copy, all you have to do is subscribe and shoot me a message with the email in the description. I will send you a free copy of the Book of Neophyte. And I have a sequel coming out. It's coming out very soon. This is a sequel to that book. It's one of a 10-part series, so it's going to get interesting. It's going to get really heavy. So I will talk about my book later on, but right now it's available in Chapters Indigo, Amazon, you name it, it's available around the world. It's international sale. So that's all I have to say on it. Like, subscribe, share, whatever. Don't care. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good day. Take care.